Hey everyone, it's Zenakil in here or Henakil, like you can call me in a way it's comfortable for you. I would say it's my first proper video that will, if you will see my channel, I have so many random videos or something stuff like that. But I think it will be the first serious video that I would love to give a nice details about the three interesting cases that I have right now in here, which is the three different retro handheld devices. So why I decided to make this video? I was experimenting with the handhelds quite a long time, and I understood that I really have a lot of experience when it comes to the handhelds. So I think I finalized my thinking about making this video and finally decided that you know what, I need to make this video because I think I used a lot of device to think of myself that somewhat experienced retro handheld user or something like that. But now we will focus in these three devices, and this video will be that whether as a first device you need to buy one of them. So in our desk we have my latest device, one of the most beautiful handhelds which I used in the last 2 years probably. Retroid Classic, amazing device. We will cover it fully about all of these devices. The second one is probably the lot of retro handheld reviewers favorite device is Anbernic RG40XX. Oh my god, I know the naming of Anbernic is so awful, but you know what? I don't know. They always say it. Retro handheld reviewers always say that the naming of these devices are so awful. But to be honest, I never understood the problem. I had the 35X hash used it while, and I think the problem is the X6. I think if I'm not mistaken, X6 came when the new version came, but I can be wrong. The thing is that if you see 35, it means that screen is 3.5 inches. If you see 40, it means 4 inches. So this is straight in here, the 4-inch screen. One of the biggest retro handhelds, I think, screen. And this is much more bigger than any 35x6, 35 hash or the third device in here, which is Miyoo Mini Plus. I would say Miyoo Mini Plus is definitely one of my favorite handheld devices, especially for such a nice size. 1 second. Let's get something to clean the screens. Yeah, so I always also carry fiber in each cases. So Miyoo Mini Plus is probably one of my favorite devices, and we will cover about them all detailed and which device you should get as a first device. But before starting this, it's my first video that I've structurized, let's say like that. We will have timeline that covers everything, even original cases, because each of these devices cases are the original cases specifically for the device. So we will cover fully, nicely about each of these retro handhelds, and we will see how it's going on. The first, I would love to start with the cases. Boxes. Why for me the boxes are necessary, and a lot of retro handheld reviewers I see that they don't even mention the boxes. For me boxes are necessary because it's the first time you get to know the device. Even device can be nice, but it creates some type of the experience for you that you unbox it, and if the boxing is nice, it's like the first introduction with the device. If it's very nice, you get to have a more nicer feeling and more expectations from the device due to the just clearly boxes. Also, when you are giving, if you're wanting a gift, it's an amazing to have a nice box if you're trying to gift, and we will cover the boxes this time. Let's start from the Miyoo Mini Plus, which is I've been using this device for 5 months or something like that, and this is the case of Miyoo Mini Plus. Firstly, I want to say that compared to the other devices, Miyoo Mini Plus doesn't have a white box. It has more like a milky and red color. This kind of retro vibe of the I would say the color retro patterns or something like that. It feels like it's got older, when the plastic gets older and gets yellowish, it gives me this vibe, which is very nice. And This box is probably one of my favorite boxes, and I will explain why. When you're unboxing this device, you are like taking it apart from the like heading part, and it is such a nice thing that it makes so interesting noise, and it has some clicky thing which I never understood how it works. I will show you now. That when you are taking it apart, there is some vacuumy feeling that creates, which it's very nice. And firstly, when you're closing it, like look at this. Oh my god, guys, come on. This click is so nice, and I wasn't waiting for it to be such an interesting boxing, because it's just a cheap, retro-handed device. Why it should be, but it appears that recently a lot of Chinese companies, especially the handheld companies, they are really spending a lot of time in packaging, in boxing, in introduction, and etc. etc. So when you buy Miyoo Mini Plus, it also comes with a case and with a protection screen protector. But you need to be sure of it when you buy from AliExpress or Amazon, that it mentions that they have it. But when I bought my Miyoo Mini Plus, I got nearly all of them, I would say, yeah, and case too. And just to cover it feels, the sound is like, I don't know, stone door or something like that. And also it can be longer for you. If you don't want the box part, you can skip it. I will leave the timelines properly. So we have a very small introduction, default the operation systems, but we are definitely replacing it with the Onion OS, because oh my god, Onion OS is one of the beautiful things ever, like operation system. But the thing is that even the default ROM is not bad. If you're a person just wanting to, have an experience, let's say just buy and play, there is an SD card sold with the operation system and a lot of games that you can just buy it and use it without any problem. And it has one small, just default, low quality Type-C, which you can use it for the charging or something like that. Something like that, and that's finished. You can just close the door, and it looks nice, color is nice, and feels nice. So it's a quite nice packaging. And honestly, Anbernic has a cheaper price than this, and honestly, I don't like Anbernic's boxing. Firstly, it looks very awful. I don't know what happened in there in the carrying way, but the Anbernic, I think it's more like a personal thing, personal preference thing. This one, the unboxing way of this is more interesting than I think that the Apple-ish way, And to be honest, I don't even. Oh yeah, it definitely does, bro. So it's more like Apple-ish way, and this smooth going down and dropping, like it's definitely something that you would see from Apple devices. And it's weird, really, because it's a cheap retro handheld device. Why the packaging is so nice? They have always this cover box for upper part. They have nice stand for the device, like to make sure that it's not placed in there, because there is a curvature in the back of the retro Anbernic RG40XX vertical. And the boxing is quite simple, something like that. And to be honest, I don't even remember that there was a cable or not. Okay, you can see, I didn't even notice this part, to be honestly. You can see the instruction in here, and probably again default OS. And default OS again in here is mid, but it's definitely recommended to replace it with the Newly. And in the further way, I will definitely give my opinion about the different operation systems in in all of them, I would say, yeah, and which one you should use. Oh my god. Okay, definitely longer than Miyoo Mini Plus cable, but it's also I think it's also in quality a little bit higher, but definitely just default bare bone USB Type-C. And I think every house has a nicer USB Type-C cable at the house, so you could use just that without any problem. Or you can use this one. Doesn't matter, to be honestly, that much. Yeah, so this is the boxing of Anbernic. And the next one. Gosh, I had Retroid Pocket 5, and this is my second Retroid device. And oh my god, these guys really can make packaging amazing. They can make packaging is so delicious. You just feel like you're unboxing, I don't know what, bro, like golden chain jewelry or some shit like that. Because come on guys, look at this. First of all, it's magnetic, and there is always naming classic, and you just, I wish that there is no address name. Whatever, I will try to blur it. So look at this, it's just magnetic, and there is different color variants too, so you can choose whichever you want. And I think in nearly all of them has a different colorways, but we will cover it. And look at this, god damn it, it's magnetic. You just open it and boom, there is firstly what comes in through is this device is like kind of 3D way, like the picture of it. So it kind of tempts you, you know, that just like, oh my god, look at this, how it's beautiful. This is the instruction page, that how it works, what it is. There is a spec sheet also, system parameters, which we will cover in the future, and something like this. And then you get the access to your device, right? And there is a nice quality Retroid USB Type-C. And one is the nice thing is that if you will check the cable, nearly all, I think all Retroid has this kind of USB Type-C cable. And between all of them, this is the most quality one, but obviously because it's the most expensive one, right? But still, such a nice details, it's so good. And also I think this is the cheapest Retroid device that within this spec, if I'm not mistaken, not considering the older ones. So within this spec, you will never find anything better, I think, than Retroid Classic, and we will cover it fully. Yeah. So this is the boxing of Retroid. I love it. By the way, don't check the screen protector because Retroid never, I think never, they by default in AliExpress or something like that, they give you everything with the screen protector. You have to buy it separately, both cases and screen protector. This is applied in Anbernic too, but I seen often Miyoo Mini Plus having the case and having the screen protector all together. So this is how the boxing of Retroid Pocket looks like, and it is gosh damn amazing. I think we can move to the next topic, which will be the cases of the carrying bags of each device. So for boxes, I spent really 10 minutes, so probably I will try my best to be faster in here. The carrying boxes. As I mentioned with Miyoo Mini Plus, sometimes if you buy it properly, like when you check it in buying, you can see the Miyoo Mini Plus has a default case, which comes with the Miyoo Mini Plus when you buy it from AliExpress. Not sure about Amazon or something like that, but when you buy it, they mention that this comes with the case. What I want to say that I think this is by default, like this case is some AliExpress, some factory from China that makes, I think, and they just print their logo in top of it, and there is red color, but it is a different red color than the red that they use in the box. So I think this is just default like rubbery way of thing that can, you know, leave the mark. And just a default case, I think, for mostly you can, when you buy the cheapest case in the AliExpress, you can see the same thing, but only not the same color though. So that's, I would say, it has one like this lace thing for carrying something, and with the rubber on top of it to not make it loose, and it has rubber in the center to make sure that device is not floating. And I would say by the test, yeah, it handles it nicely. Yeah, it fully like protects it. There is a few centimeters leave in the device to float it, and when you hit it, not to break, I guess, or something like that. So yeah, and it's very portable. It's definitely portable than every one of other cases. Yeah, so I took a pause, I guess we can test it. So, oh my god, when you're embarrassing. 37 millimeters. Wait. $40, yeah. So it's around 4 centimeters, I guess. Yeah. And yeah, it's around 4 centimeters. And it is the lightest and most portable case amongst all of them. And probably the, I would say, most easily squishable one. Let's compare the measurements between all of the cases. This is the case for Retroid Pocket. The original case, you should buy this additionally, or you could, but this is such a nice case that I would definitely recommend any person that gets Retroid Classic to buy this thing, you know, buy this accessories, because it's so nice. It's a 5 centimeters, you can see, guys, from 49 millimeters or something like that. Like, it's even a little bit squishing. So yeah, 5 centimeters easily. And this device, which is Anbernic, is 45. So the most thickest one amongst them, 46. So most thickest amongst them is 5 centimeters, I guess, this one, 50 millimeters. That Retroid Pocket Classic one, but there is probably a reason for that. So Miyoo Mini Plus has very nice case, easy to carry. It has some such thing like a rope. Easy to carry, portable, and very nice to have in default when you buy it with that comes with it. If you don't buy it, you can buy any this type of Retroid, any this type of just bag from AliExpress. I think it will be the same quality and it will be the fitting for Miyoo Mini Plus. So let's talk about Anbernic one. It is also additionally bought. You buy it additionally. The difference between I at first thought that this is also the same case but a little bit better. You can see in AliExpress for $3-4. But no, it is a little bit customized for Anbernic. I guess they had something deal with the factory and factory made them the custom one. It has really nice material. Like, by material, you can see the Miyoo Mini one was the rubber, but this has more like, how can I explain, the close looking material but not annoying. And I will be honest with you guys, compared to Retroid Pocket, I don't like this material, but this material is definitely better, I assume, by clearly also the price, but this feels more smooth and more irritating, less irritating than to the hand. I'm not sure is it synthetic or something like that, that's why, but it feels more, this feels more like rigid cotton or some hard clothes. This feels more plasticky way, I don't know why, and I like it, to be honest, because it's more smooth, I think. In terms of squishability, yeah, obviously rubber will be squishable more, and this is even more harder as it's more thicker, I guess. So it has a really nice, cool looking like carrying thing, I would call, and oh my god, my voice cracked. So the Miyoo Mini Plus has this thing, the rope, and the Retroid Pocket has also the rope kind of thing, but more thicker. But this one has really nice rubber and carrying thing. And also it has a nice touch of Anbernic, forgot the name, zipping head or whatever it is called, the Anbernic, so the name of the manufacturer. And they have such nice details that kinda is nice. It's not so expensive as Retroid one, and definitely not comes with the when you buy the device with the Miyoo Mini Plus. But I can be wrong, but I think it doesn't come with the device. Either you have to pay additionally. Inside, again, as the Miyoo Mini Plus, the same thing. Such rubber material. By the way, we didn't compare the inner material, but I think they're, if you will take a closer look, they are really mostly the same, to be honestly. It's a more soft close looking material, and it's very soft. The same thing for carrying thing, rubber. And there is a one thing which I really liked compared to the Retroid one in this Anbernic device, is that they really thought of this, you know, situation with the back of this, you know, the handheld. Mostly when you put it in here, It has also very nice rigid the rubber. It doesn't move, you see? It doesn't twitch or something like that. And it stays there. It's very rigid. I really like the case of the Anbernic, to be honest. What Anbernic done here. It has a better quality, softer inside, better quality outside. This rubber, nice looking Retroid pocket thing. And other than that, I don't think there is anything else. Yeah, and such details. It's original case. Also, you have to buy additionally. I forgot the prices, to be honestly, and the prices always change in AliExpress. Probably I will not mention the prices, but I will mention the prices of each devices. But in here you don't have rubber. It's actually nicer because this is so nice way to get your device out of here and just start playing. It's so nice. It's easier than rubber. And look how I have to do it in the Anbernic, guys. Look. You see? And look how I luxuriously do it in Anbernic. I mean Retroid, my bad. Look like this and boom. I think this is really insane. It's really cool that you can do something like that case, but look at the disadvantage, guys. It plays. I'm not sure is it big disadvantage, is it bad thing. It plays inside the device also when you close it. So I'm not sure how much it's a nicer thing. That device is safe inside it plays, but Anbernic definitely thought about this. But look, it stays rigid because it doesn't play around, and it stays full, right? Because it covers. And the same thing goes on with the back side of this device, Retroid. You can see that they didn't thought about that, like having boxy thing in here, that just make the device loose inside. And when you just, for example, cover the device, it plays inside, which is, I think, it's a quite disadvantage. But in terms of the material, I think it's really high quality case, guys. It's really high quality case. Nice logo touch in here. I think this is the cheapest in terms of how they thought about the logging, but still this is such a nice touch that each device has its own case. And I think we can finish with the cases. All of them has the same zip like type, and most differences I think I covered, and the same thing goes inside in here. There also one more thing to mention, the lace in here is more higher quality, as this case is much more expensive than the other ones. I think we can move to the next topic, which will be the spec sheet of each device. Yeah, we are moving on with the spec sheet. On the paper, what is each device has, and just briefly in the spec sheet. So none of them has internal storage. Only Retroid has internal storage. Why? Because it's Android, I guess, and it has fully system under the motherboard. But we will talk about it more. Miyoo Mini Plus, RG40XX vertical, Retroid Classic. We're starting from here. Miyoo Mini Plus has 3000 mAh battery. Battery life is questionable. Unfortunately, I will not mention battery life in this timeline because I didn't test it. But I think Miyoo Mini has the worst battery life. I think it's not that different in RG40XX, but I felt like it's better even though having the same. And yeah, it's around 3200 mAh. So it's 200 better than this, but definitely it feels. I don't know, is it operation system, is it what? But this one really has bad, I would call it bad, even maybe it's my revision, but it has bad battery life. I don't know, 2 hour, 1 hour, and it's dying. I don't know what it is, onion oils beta or whatever. And only this one has an access to the battery, so you can change something else if you have like better version or something like that. I don't know, I never tested, to be honestly. And by the way, every device that I bought, like the handhelds, they don't have a fan, so I'm using pads. I'm not sure how much it's efficient, but I'm using pad for the more like heating parts, processors and etc. Specs sheet: 3000 milliampere, 3200 milliampere, and by spec sheet it says it lasts 6 hours. By spec sheet it doesn't say, I think, how much time it lasts, but I guess around 3 hours we can easily say it. And this one it says lasts 6 hours, but I think it depends on the brightness, etc. But in my revision, 3-4 hours I definitely played with it. Retroid Pocket Classic, however, has 5000 milliampere battery with the support of the faster charger, 27 watt. This one's I think doesn't support it. I would recommend every one of this device to charge with the lowest, I think, the wattage possible, because I don't think this device is recommended, especially I read it in the internet that it's not fully recommended to charge it with a 9 ampere and 3 watt or something like that. I can be wrong. I don't know, guys, but I would definitely recommend using 5 ampere 3 watt, 5 ampere 3 watt, 5 ampere 3 watt. I think it's kinda, yeah, 5 watt 1. Oh my god, I'm saying it wrongly. 5 watt 1.5 ampere, also 5 watt 1.5, I guess, ampere, and it says in here 7.5 watts. It also says battery life. I think they all cover it in the background. That's actually nice. Nice. Yeah, but Retroid Pocket Classic doesn't have anything, just for the sake of the clean look and etc. So the specs sheet, battery life, something like that. And starting from the processor, we are going from the most powerful to the least powerful one. This has the Snapdragon G1 Gen 2. It's a very portable, it's a very lightweight, it's a very light gaming processor that Snapdragon made. Unfortunately, not many devices used it. Specifically, it's used for streaming and etc. streaming devices. But this is, I think, the Retroid's one of the nicest moves was that to use not phone CPUs, not CPUs that has image processing, etc., tons of things, but actually focusing on the CPU that has a nice graphical performance. And believe me, this device can run a lot more, but it doesn't have a stick. But we will cover it. It has the most powerful processor amongst them, G1 Gen 2. This device, Anbernic RG40XX, where if you watched a lot of Anbernic videos, every device they will just release, they will use H700. H700 is a quad-core ARM Cortex A53. It's a 4-core ARM Cortex A53. This is, however, is a 8-core Cairo CPU, 2 performance cores and 6 efficiency cores. I think it's A55 or A57, I can be wrong. But it's definitely more powerful. This has quad core, and this has the least powerful one is A7, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, ARM Cortex A7 dual core. So it is the least powerful. But let me tell you something. When you play the handheld games, retro games, I don't think that there will be a big difference. Nowadays, the emulators for retro handhelds, retro games are amazing, very efficient, very optimized. Even the least powerful one will run it in full capacity without any problems. In here, in the spec sheet of the CPU, it's more like CPU is more like for which operation systems you can use between them. None of them has internal storage, but all of them can be expandable until 512 gigabytes. Maybe you can use more, I'm not sure. I think there is no new 1 terabyte SD cards, so I think you can use it, but I'm not sure about that, never researched about that. However, the Retroid Pocket Classic comes with the different colors. All of them comes with different colors, which I will also cover, but has internal storage of either 64 gigabyte, 4 gigabyte RAM, or 6 gigabyte RAM and 128. And I got the highest one because there was no the lowest one. I got the one with the 128 storage and 6 gigabytes of RAM. And all of them can have a different operation systems. Default one for these devices are Linux, and those are not compatible with any Android or something like that. They are only Linux, but they have a different operation systems. For example, in this device, it's very popular to have a GNU Nully, or I'm not sure how it is called. Let me put this device in the charge for a second. It doesn't have charge. So we are charging the device. Okay, it's called Nully, Onion OS, or Miyoo or different operation system in here. Or in here, mostly I don't think you can install Linux, but it has an Android. And to be honest, it has also a touch screen. And Android will be the most easiest in terms of how you can handle your retro ROMs and how operation system, just everything behaves, you know. You don't have to like install a tons of ROMs or etc. test it. It's just an Android, but you can use a different front-end system to just find your one. So I think in terms of the operation system, definitely Retroid Pocket Classic is a winning here due to the poor performance and due to the Android usage. This one Nully is must have. I also use the Mustard OS, Miyoo OS, but I don't know. This device really leaves me a very kind of questionable like thing. Like I'm not sure. Onion OS is amazing. It's beautiful. It's easy, simple. You just turn on the device and you just hop into the game and that's it. Spec sheet, the other spec sheet, I think that 3.5 inch screen, OCR, I'm not sure what it is, but it is laminated, so you don't have that much of space between the screen and screen glass. And I definitely recommend guys using a screen protector for every of these devices because I think they are very handleable and quite easier to be fallen or something like that. So 3.5 inches screen in the Miyoo Mini Plus, and the resolution of screen, I can be wrong, but I think it's 640 to 480. So when we come to the RG40XX way, 4-inch IPS screen again with the same way OCA full lamination. So it also has that thing that between screen and glass, I think there is less distance, so it doesn't make you. It makes kind of nice feeling when you watch the screen. OCA full lamination, same resolution. So I think these two devices has the same spec sheet in terms of screen, only the size is different. The 4 inches in here and 3.5 inches in the Miyoo Plus. And believe me, it's a really big difference when you're comparing. Oh my god, I touched the screens a lot. It's a really big difference when you compare these devices side by side. It's a lot of difference. Like, look, I'm putting the same screen. Look, it's a lot of difference between these two devices, guys. This feels more handleable, pocketable. It's very nice. It's easier to use, and this one is more bigger, more, I think, more into professionally playing handhelds or something like that. Yeah. We come to the most amazing part in here. Retroid Pocket Classic is an AMOLED. It's crazy. I know, AMOLED screen for the retro handheld device. That's why I got it. I have this tendency of saying that when I buy the device, I really like fixate myself into an screen of it, because for me the screen is I think I have this philosophy of that the device you're buying, it must have the nicest screen. Why? Because the screen is the part that you mostly watch in the device. So this device has the nicest screen ever. 1240 to 1080. It has very weird aspect ratio, I think 31 to something. A lot of people mentioned about this weirdness of this aspect ratio, but believe me, even the smallest crops, it doesn't feel that much, honestly. And when it comes to the this is AMOLED screen, 500 nits. I think these two either 250 or 300 nits. 500 nits, it's pure brightness. It's such an amazing screen. Like even from here, you guys can see easily that, look, maybe it's not the same color, but it's easily visible that how much nicer this screen on this device is. Look, the blue color. This device screen is popping. It's sweet. It's delicious. It's amazing. Really, the screen is one of the things that motivated me to buy this device. And I think by spec sheet we covered it all. It's Android 14, Linux, And also by spec sheet, it has the fan in here. Let me turn it on so you guys can hear. Why I've You guys can hear the noise, I guess. It can become a noisy, but it didn't had any kind of that big of an issue for me, to be honestly. But it has active heat dissipation, active cooling. The device will be very cool, as G1 is also Snapdragon is also the processor that very optimized in terms of having a less temperature. So yeah, it has an active cooling. These devices have a passive cooling. That's why I used the kind of modded it to use just the pads, thermal pads or something like that. So I'm not sure how much it's efficient using a thermal pad, but it is what it is. Wi-Fi 5 also I think supports Wi-Fi 5. Anbernic one can be wrong, but yeah, it's 5G. It's Wi-Fi 5 also supported Bluetooth 4.2. Miyoo Mini Plus unfortunately doesn't support, if I'm not mistaken, Wi-Fi 5. I always stick to using 2.4G in Miyoo Mini Plus. By spec sheets, I think we covered most of the things. And one thing that left is the SD card place and like layouts. One 3.5 jack, one SD card, and one Type-C. Other than that, nothing else. Just the volume rock button and turning on off. One SD card place, how you guys can see, and it's not covered, it's a little bit busy in here, and I use different type of SD cards and it's always a little bit bumpy in here. I don't like that, the placement of SD card in here, but it is what it is. In the bottom part, only one place. Compared to the Anbernic one, it has two SD card places. If you will touch it, that rather than bumpiness, it goes more inside, which I definitely recommend. Because what if it will just, you know, squish to somewhere, right? It will just. I was testing that. Can I like do? We can easily do this, you know, but in here, it's more harder to do it. So you have to use tip of your finger. Yeah, so you guys can see that it's more goes inside, but it's more secure. Two SD card places. Volume rock button and reset button when your OS something happens with your OS, power on off button, and the front part we have D-pad, this, and turning like menu button same in here. Only difference it has a stick. About stick we will talk in the future. Controlling part, and in here also the same in here. And power on, power off button, volume rock button, 3.5 jack, USB Type-C, and also Type-C, 3.5 jack in Anbernic, and also Type-C. And other than that, this device also has like everything in the upper part, which I definitely recommend. 3.5 jack and Type-C. 3.5 jack, some people mentioned that it's in upper part, so it's a little bit problematic when they listen to something. But okay, if you're listening to something, you're using the upper part of the jack. When you put it in the bag, you put it in this way, you know. So I am not sure. Maybe if you put in this way, yeah. Yeah, maybe this is not the fully best way to use 3.5 jack. And TF SD card, which is also has nice coverage, which I love Retroid for doing this. But I understand it's extra cost, and these devices costs much more less than the Retroid one. Retroid one. So we come to the timeline of the end of the spec sheet. I think I covered most of the things. I go with the Zau's script by just talking by myself. So I think I covered it mostly. The spec sheet, we talked about the spec sheet. Let's talk about the price and 130 price and colors. 130 USD dollars. The colors, if you guys can enter, you guys can see different types of colors, like a retro. This is the retro one. There is a one with the retro, the Sega buttons, 6 buttons in front of it. There you have like classic, it's called classic. Classic has different 2 colors. You guys can buy Berry, Teal, Kiwi, PKM Yellow, which is the Pokemon. I will definitely recommend you guys to go watch the colors by yourselves. Because yeah, unfortunately I have the each revision one color. Black transparent, the one I was chosen for this device because I wanted the transparent device. And they have also retro, I think white color and black color and black transparent, if I'm not mistaken. Miyoo Mini Plus also have the colors like purple transparent, black transparent, and retro one was the one that I got because it just looks nice. It just looks nice, feels nice. The same one retro goes in here too, but when you compare the same thing with the boxes, Miyoo Mini has more yellowish pattern rather than compared to the Retroid device. So spec sheet, the prices spec sheet, prices and colors. $130 is the Retroid Pocket Classic handheld. It's the 130 USD in the store of Retroid itself. I'm not sure how much with the carrying courier it will cost, but it's 130 USD in the store. Miyoo Mini Plus, it will be harder to, find the proper price, but I think it's nearly 69 or 70 or 100 USD dollars. 69 or 6 and 7, or I think you can definitely find this device for 50 USD. 50 USD, it's very different. If you buy from official Miyoo Mini website, you can get it for the 69 or 100 USD. If you will buy from the AliExpress, you can get it for even for 40, I think 40 bucks for definitely it's gettable. Same thing goes with this 4-inch device, Retroid one, Anbernic one. It's also 40, it's also 70, 50 USD. It very depending on where you are getting the device. So I think this is the specs. We covered the specs and we covered the prices and colors. I think we can move on to the specifically in terms of performance, and also the thing that I want to cover is the screen. So I was mentioned, I think, the performance and screen test, but before that, this timeline I want to divide specifically for the sound test. I would love to give the sound test of each device to give you guys briefly understanding how is the quality sounds, but still in reality it will be much different in your perspective because there is a microphone that it will be through microphone it will be given, but I think it can create some type of imagination in you that how it sounds, and I will give you briefly my opinion about the sounds of these devices. So I think we can move to the sound testing. So I would love to start with the Contra and the Contra game and start with the bottom one, the Miyoo Mini. So let's go. Hello, person. So I think you guys saw the 3 different devices. The second one was RG40XX, first one was Miyoo Mini Plus, and the third one was Retroid Classic. I would shortly just say that when it comes to the Contra and when it comes to the retro gaming, the Miyoo Mini Plus has the highest pitch one. And I think in all devices we had this one like all of them has only one the one speaker, and all of them kind of gives a nice sound. But when it comes to the retro gaming, it kind of prioritizes the highest pitch sound between the highest pitch sound of the speaker, and that's why I am thinking that the Miyoo Mini Plus wins in the Contra. The second one will be Retroid Classic. It has this device, Miyoo Mini Plus, has the highest pitch. This device, Retroid Classic, has the highest bass. It's very bassy, it's very loud, and it's very nice. And the third device which is the Anbernic RG40XX, and this device also has the highest pitch, high pitch, but definitely I would consider Miyoo Mini Plus in terms of the Contra game. I think we can move with the testing of the speakers to a more PlayStation 1 game. So this time I want to test these devices, the speakers of them, with the PlayStation 1, which was the TV console. And the game that I will choose will be this Spider-Man. So I think we can move to the testing. As you can see, we tested the Spider-Man game sound test, and this is definitely the winner. Is Retroid Pocket Classic. Bassy, loud, very clear. You see the guys, this is I don't think I ever noticed this such details in other reviewers that they mentioned, but the older games are more high pitched, less there is less sounding, more high pitched kind of sound. And in this ones, the low quality speakers, maybe I guess, is more nicer because they have a higher pitch. There has to be a low quality and higher pitch to make Contra to sound really nice. And Contra wasn't that sounding nice in here compared to the Miyoo Mini, but in PlayStation 1 game, it's the day of difference of the world and sky. I don't know, whatever you call. In here, in this difference, the last one is Miyoo Mini Plus. The second one is the 14x6, and the third one, which is the best sounding, is Retroid Classic. It sounds amazing. I love the sound that this device has. And yeah, I think with the speaker test we covered it all, and we can move to the gameplay test and screen test, which I would love to show you guys the differences of the screen in the game Contra. Yeah, this time I think we can start with the overall system. We will test the screen and the buttons test. This timeline, this stage will be consist of it. And overall, I would love to show you the navigation in all of these devices, how you navigate in these devices. In the Miyoo Mini Plus, it's easy. You just take it in the hand. You can, if you entered the game, you can just click it and check it. I forgot the name. Game switcher. Yeah, it has a game switcher functionality. You can easily navigate through your previous games and enter the Contra one, and boom, it loads from autosave. But if you have a retro achievement and this hardcore mode, it will start from the beginning. As a hardcore mode, it always ensures that you start from beginning. So I think This device is ready. In terms of the Anbernic, it's a Knully and Nully system, or how it's called. Navigation in here is also mostly easy. It's emulation station, and it's really nice. And we can move the speaker in 50% too, so you can hear the how it sounds. Also, it has one analog stick, which is the difference that these devices, but we will cover it in the navigation part. This is the navigation part, and I forgot that this was the navigation part. God damn it, I made so much failures, but I think this video will be more honest and just spontaneous, you know. And I tried to make it structured, but it's hard, you know. So it has the sticks, which is makes the navigation more, I guess, intuitive and more nicer than compared to these two devices. But when it comes to the game, there is an icky part, which I will cover. The navigation here in the system, through system, is also easier. It's simulation station. It's one of the most popular one, more nicer one. It is some people will compare it with any type of system. And in here we use Daijitsu. I think I pronounced it right, and it's most of the time it's very compared with Daijitsu. But I recently bought an emulation station for Android, and I am thinking to switching in it. But for now, this is how the system navigation looks like in the Anbernic. If you use Nully system, you just go to the game that you want. I don't have much games in here. You can let's do the same way. You know, searching. It's no touch screen, just writing one by one name, and you just enter it. That's it. It's also very intuitive, and Nully is overall intuitive due to the emulation station and very straightforward. So I think this device is also ready. When it comes to the beautiful device, Retroid Classic, Retroid Pocket Classic, it's also easier to move around. If you use it just from the beginning, you have to set up everything from the beginning, like Daijitsu and etc. If you set it up, it's very intuitive to control it. You just move through your systems. It's Android. Not only that, you can also move around with a touch screen because it's Android and it's a touch screen supported device. You can move with your hand, and or you can search the name. And the nicest part is that in here keyboard is touchpad, so it's much more easier to write the name of the game compared to these two devices. So you can just write the Contra and enter the game through Daijitsu system, and it's very nice, I would say. So I think this device is also ready in terms of testing and gameplay. And there is one famous test that I think Retro Game Corp's done. It's called the Contra test, testing for D-pad stick. I think there is an issue with RetroArch. 1 second, I'm coming back. So here guys, this device is also ready. We're doing 30, 40 maybe 50. This device is also ready. I think we can start with the screen difference. So guys, I think it's very visible through the video too that god damn it, it's just Retroid Pocket Classic just crashes everything. Let me just briefly check that is it all of them is in the highest brightness. I guess we will no need to test the lowest brightness. We will do the test for the lowest brightness, but yeah, but for now let's test it in the highest brightness to see that how much capabilities of each of these devices has in terms of screen. Let's first compare the two bottom ones, because in here I think there is a clear winner. If we will compare it very nicely, some colors are much more nicer in Anbernic device. This is Anbernic device, and this is Miyoo Mini, and this is side by side. You guys can see the dirt, rock color, even the darkness kind of seems more dark, even though the screen resolution is the same. Resolution even also seems like much more nicer in the Anbernic device. So let's put it again the side by side. You can see the dark is a little bit contrast is more nicer in Anbernic. The colors are more nicer in Anbernic. I like the color green in Miyoo Mini Plus. It's more kind of gloomy green, but I'm not sure how the original look would look like, you know. But in terms of this side by side, there is a clear winner that the Anbernic has much better screen than Miyoo Mini Plus. So we are putting aside it, and we are now side by siding these two devices. As you can see, there are a difference in aspect ratio. So you can see it easily. It's the Retroid is more boxy screen. But if you're using 1.11 in Retroid Arch, in Retro Arch resolution, it will always fit, and there is very less difference. Retro Game Cops also mentioned about that there is a little difference in terms of stretching, but side by side it's a world, and I don't know, the difference is crazy. I don't know, some people can say that, oh, I don't feel the difference or something like that, but guys, I feel the difference for sure. I love that the when devices has the nicest screen. Even when you put it like that, a little bit tinted, it's all visible that how much poppy, how much darker and how much brighter the Retroid Pocket Classic screen is. Guys, let's just a little bit make it more closer. You know, the 1080p, I think it's a 1080p was the screen. 1080p screen is just shows the demolition in terms of the how much it's more brighter and how much it's sharper and nicer. And honestly, guys, in terms of even price, okay, the Anbernic is really nice. Anbernic is a really nice device and very usable. But for 60 USD or 70 USD more, if you get Retroid Pocket Classic, I think it's a steal if you really prefer the screen and performance and sound and overall everything, I would say. But the screen is, yeah, screen is insanely beautiful. Let's do it properly, side by side, slowly. Let's zoom to the Anbernic first, and then Retroid Pocket Classic. And you guys can even see the from upper part how it looks. I think I can even, if I can have more hands, I think even I can put it in here too. Yeah, Miyoo Mini Plus and the Anbernic is quite similar in terms of like which degree you are watching, but no one will watch the device in this degree, right? But honestly, it's a glass. The screen in Retroid Pocket Classic is just such an amazing screen. Guys, I don't know, I cannot stop talking about screen when I every time see this device, touch my device, it's just amazing. I have no words. And let's, I think, compare the lowest brightness. So this is actually a nice thing about Nuli, that the lowest brightness will turn off the screen. Why it is nice thing is because when you turn off the screen, you can use the scraper and etc. And you can just with the screen scraper, you can take your pictures and etc. of the game ROMs, and it will be more like nicer in this way, I would say, because your screen will be turned off, you will not lose battery, and you can use the scraper to scrape your games. When it comes to the lowest brightness, I think we have clear winner in here too. Maybe it will be better if I will change my screen focus. Okay, and camera focus I meant. In here, compared to the Miyoo Mini Plus and Anbernic, for my eyes, honestly, colors still look better in Anbernic. But the brightness wise, honestly, in camera there is difference that it feels like Miyoo Mini Plus is less brighter. But I wouldn't agree, guys. Why? Because I think they look exactly the same. The thing with the Miyoo Mini Plus is that it's more gloomy. It feels like there is some gray, you know, layer on top of it. So that's why it doesn't darker. It's not darker than definitely the Anbernic one. When compared to, oh my god, my screen, my light failed. When we compare it through the OLED screen, OLED screens are always more dimmer, always more dimmer. There is, I think, even more ways to get it more dimmer. I think there is an options called dimmer. If people love the dim screen, there is called an extra dim, which you can turn on. I'm not sure if it exists in default in the quick menu, but you can turn on the extra dim mode. It will be more dim, but we will not do it. We will do it in a traditional way. We just made the screen like lower the brightness, and we have a winner in here too, as the more bright and more, like, let's say the least bright screen is Retroid Pocket Classic. So people who are like to play in a dark environment definitely will appreciate the Retroid Classics, the Retroid Pocket Classic, the screen, and definitely the OLED is amazing. And unfortunately it has a little bit flickering as I see, but you can see. But to be honestly, I never had an issue with the flickering tool, and I cannot explain how flickering works right now and how to avoid it. But in the system there is also no way to avoid such thing. Avoid the, I think it's PVC, it's called PVC or something like that. It's an OLED, specifically OLED thing. IPS doesn't have this thing that it flickers. It's an OLED that flickers and can hurt your eyes. But if you don't have such sensitivities and etc., definitely go, if you prefer the screen, definitely go with the Retroid Pocket Classic. So this is the new stage of our video, and this will be the Contra test and overall navigation between the game, a little bit gameplay. So when it comes to the Miyoo Mini Plus, we can hold it in this way, like we hold it in like controls. I'm always holding my Retroid Miyoo Mini Plus in this way, like one finger in back, and because of this elevation, it's much more nicer to just put one finger and click both of them within. So in here they nailed the controls. Like I can with one finger easily click whichever button I want. So it's much more easier. I hold my Miyoo Mini Plus like this, and I play in this way. So let's do the Retro Game Cops, the favorite, the Contra test. It's called Contra test. You guys can see. Overall, I really love how feeling of the D-pad of Miyoo Mini Plus. It's amazing. It's soft. It's very concrete. Like you guys can see, if I will not do it hardly, it's barely even moves. The control in Miyoo Mini Plus is just nailed. So here is the sound, how it sounds. So how you guys can see, the sounding is also nice, not so loud, very soft, very clicky, tactile or something like that. And yeah, overall this device is very easy to play game, and it passes the Contra test, which is Retro Game Corps love. We come to the Anbernic, the people's favorite recently, and a lot of people start to love it. And in here I would say the control is much more nicer due to the bottom size. If you guys will check out, the Anbernic has always, even the same size with this device, they always have the longer bottom part. Because of this elevation of the bottom part and longness, it gives much more easier to, you know, just grab it in your hand. Just check this out. When I grab this, I have a lot of space inside my hand. But when I grab this device, it feels so nice. It feels like it's made for my hand. And it has the roundness in here, same for the Miyoo Mini Plus, which we will talk in this device. I don't like this, what I don't like in this device. But overall disadvantages I will cover at the end. But in this scene here, the roundness and etc. and control is just an amazing. I didn't like this device due to that I wanted something bigger bigger differentiation between the Miyoo Mini Plus. Not only controlling, that's why I got my Retroid Pocket Classic. So let's do the Contra test. Retro Games Cops, the favorite Contra test. I think it's a little bit worse than Miyoo Mini Plus, but it's definitely also like passes the test and doesn't fail us in it. Not only that, but also we have in here the stick. Stick is the big change in terms of the choice between these three devices. If you prefer the 3D games, N64 games, Dreamcast, because this device can run the Dreamcast, I think the maximum this device can run is Dreamcast. I will show you at the end of the video. I mean, in the next stage maybe. But this device has also the stick. So I will tell you guys like that. I tested this stick in PPSS device software. Yes, sorry for I was coughing a little bit. So I tested this stick in PPSSPP, and I will show you probably the testing too. And it fails. It's very bad. This stick is awful. I tried to change it to the Hall FX stick from AliExpress, but unfortunately I couldn't succeed in it. It's very hard to find the stick properly that will fit the size. Like even if it's the same thing, there is an issue that it hits the plastic, so it has to have this border or something like that. So when you guys choose the stick, please choose the one that has a little bit higher elevation, I would say, because yeah, it was the failure that I couldn't modify this stick to have a hole and more precise one. But the one inside, it feels like more D-pad kind of thing. It's not that precise, it's not that great. But overall, with the stick, you can even play too, like without any problem. So let's do a little bit gameplay. And gameplay with the pad. And the sound test of the buttons. Oh my god, so many enemies. I also forgot to mention that this also has this stick, and with one finger you also can like click both of them without any problem. They nailed this thing nicely in both Miyoo Mini Plus and Anbernic. And also in Miyoo Mini Plus I forgot to have a little bit of gameplay too, as let's go guys and play the game in Miyoo Mini Plus too. Yeah, we played a little bit Anbernic, we covered its control, it's very nice, it fits the hand fully, and here is the Miyoo Mini Plus gameplay. Oopsie. Yeah, I think that will be it. Then we are coming to my favorite device, my favorite retro handheld device ever. Same way, because of the size and because of the ratio of the screen and the bottom part, it also fits your hand very nicely. But the disadvantage in here, when it fits your hand, both these parts are more not rounded. It's more like squarish. when in other devices, in Miyoo Mini Plus, it's more rounded. I wish they would do this the same way to, you know, make it more rounded, because when you're taking this in your hand, it immediately cuts your finger. I'm not sure if it will be for everyone the same, but I wish they would make this rounded. Then I wouldn't had any issues with this device about the control. And one more thing to mention, they really not nailed in terms of the roundness in here and these guys. So what I want to explain, if you guys will just check side by side, you guys will see that the Anbernic has more roundness and more leverage in terms of inner L2 R2. The Retroid has it, but it has it so low, and my fingers are, I think my hand is 17.5 or something like that. So whenever I took the device, I want to play a game, I have to bench my fingers like this, bent. And you know what? Pressing this, it just makes me to push it to myself, like thing. It's not very easy and nicer to push the back buttons in here compared to the Anbernic, where I just lay my one finger and you see I can lay my finger like this and click it like that. When it comes to the Retroid Pocket, I cannot do it freely, you know, I cannot do it. I think maybe it is roundness what plays the role of me not being able to actually click this like easily. I'm not sure. I think I know the answer actually. I just found out. I think it's because the lower part of this device is much more smaller than Anbernic one. You see, there is like straight some difference. I think there is 6 mm difference or something like that. So this kind of difference makes your hand to go more upper, right? And it just makes your hand to bend like this, fingers, because you have to hold it higher to have an access to controls. So I don't think in terms of controls this device is nice. Like, it's very nice, it's okay, but it's for sure it's not nicer than Anbernic one. So I think in terms of control, I have to put Anbernic at the first place. Second place is the Miyoo Mini Plus, and maybe maybe second place for Retroid Pocket Classic, and third place is the Miyoo Mini Plus. But they are definitely feeling somewhat equally, I think, yeah. So I don't think you will have any problems, or you will feel too much discomfort even if you're playing like this. In more nicer position to play the games in here is like that, but because of the back buttons, even if you do like this movement, when you're pushing the back buttons, you don't even will push it too much times, but even if you are not playing hand like retro games and you need that button, yeah, it will be harder, much more harder. And also in terms of buttons, the hardest to press is Anbernic one, and oh my god, I really don't like the buttons when they are very hard to press. Let's do the Contra test. I think it just nails the Contra test. I think it's too much good in the Contra test. I think the reason why it happens because I think they have a clickness. That's why. I think there is a separation of the buttons under the hood of this D-pad. So whenever you click the one, you do the left and right movement and it doesn't clicks. But the strange thing is that the D-pad of the Anbernic is more harder to press. Even though this clicks, this is the best in terms of Contra test. And even softer pushing like this doesn't make you to click the left and right button. So some people say it's very loud in terms of button. To be honest, I don't have any problems with that, especially with this speaker. And if you're using a headphone, it will be no problem at all. So let's do a little bit gameplay testing. Now let's do the sound testing. And let's do the sound testing of buttons amongst 3. You guys can hear that this is the loudest due to that it's more clicky button than membrane. The least loud is Anbernic. I think the most softest is definitely the Retroid. The most hardest and most, for me, only personal preference, is most annoying is Anbernic one. I really don't like this time the buttons. I had a different Anbernic device like RG35XX hash horizontal version. I don't remember having this much hard buttons, to be honestly. I like the buttons in the Retroid Pocket Classic, so I will put for the first place this. The second place Miyoo Mini Plus, definitely nicer, softer, and the third place Anbernic for the controls, buttons, and for the comfort I will put the first place. If you need the comfort, you definitely go for an Anbernic. If you need comfort, then you can go with the Retroid Pocket Classic, or last Miyoo Mini Plus as a portable device. I would give the comfort tier like that. Okay, next thing that I would love to do is definitely the testing each of these devices in the maximum potential emulation running. This will be the PlayStation 1 in here. I will run in here PlayStation 1 2 just to compare it with Miyoo Mini Plus, but I will run in here Dreamcast, and then I will run in here Dreamcast but also PlayStation 2 in this device. So do you guys make that understanding that how this compares with each of other in terms of performance and how they feel, something like that. So guys, I think we can start. So I will run these two. Now we will test the performance of these two devices, which is Anbernic 40XX and Miyoo Mini Plus in terms of the game in for PlayStation 1. We are starting with we will start with the Miyoo Mini Plus. I would say that I played a lot of PlayStation 1 games in Miyoo Mini Plus, and I could easily say that this device can handle every PlayStation. I think nearly every PlayStation 1 game. I think this device will not have any issues in terms of playing the PlayStation 1 device. So if you need something cheap, something small to play PlayStation 1 games, guys, I definitely recommend Miyoo Mini Plus. I recommend Miyoo Mini Plus for everyone nearly because it's such an ideal, it's such a compact, it's such a nice device that I think it can fit a lot of people. So, great. Yeah, I never played the Spider-Man in the PlayStation 1, to be honest. So, technology, we can start. I think I have to swing. Okay, we need to swing, guys. So in sometimes it can have slowdowns, but it's not big of a deal, I think. Oh, we have a web cartridge too. Something. No, don't die, please. Yeah, I'm very bad at Spider-Man. I remember playing different Spider-Man, honestly. Like in all devices. Yeah, that's awful. I don't like the controls in Spider-Man even in its old games. You know, the Web of Shadows was nice in terms of oldness. But really the control is a lot harder, so it's really... Okay, overall, Like you guys can see that it runs, I think it runs, the maximum it can run this device is the PlayStation 1. Retro games runs perfectly in this device, but when it comes to the maximum capacity of this device, it's definitely definitely the PlayStation 1. And even you guys can see that it can even run in speed up, without any problem. So I don't think you guys will face any problems of this device in terms of running any game. Like any game in terms of capacity of this device. And also what is good about Miyoo Mini is that Miyoo Mini doesn't allow you to use Dreamcast or something like that. The maximum available in Onion OS for Miyoo Mini Plus is PlayStation 1. So reasonably so, because PlayStation 1 runs just fine in this device. So that's why it doesn't have any problems. That's why it doesn't have any problems when you're playing a PlayStation 1 games. So Miyoo Mini Plus, for Miyoo Mini Plus, the maximum you will play will be the PlayStation 1. Now we're going through the Anbernic device. Anbernic 40XX web performance test. Let's do the normal mode and start the game. And really the screen size is such a difference, such a big difference. Let me also lower the brightness so it will be much more visible in the screen. So because of the stick, everything changes. Everything changes. Because of the stick, it starts to be a much more easier to play. And Hash 700, I sometimes notice that sometimes the game runs poorly. Especially PlayStation 1 game runs poorly in Onion OS. In Anbernic. I'm not sure why this happens, but mostly in here too, you will have zero problems in terms of PlayStation 1, and you will play most of the PlayStation 1 games. Not only in PlayStation 1, but it also runs a Dreamcast, so the PlayStation 1 will be just no problem if it runs the Dreamcast. But it's not perfect in terms of how it runs the Dreamcast. So yeah, in terms of screens, you guys know that Miyoo Mini Plus is the last place, this is the second place, and Retroid Pocket Plus is the first place. So I think we can move to the maximum capacity of this device, which we are covering the performance. In terms of the maximum capacity, this device can run I had to use the Batusura Genius. So here we go. Dreamcast has been launched. Dreamcast game. Tokyo Extreme Racer 2. One of very nice games in the Dreamcast. I really love Tokyo Extreme Racer series. We do the Greek race. We don't need anything like complex. We just choose the Supra and fast run to the gameplay. Because of stick, this device has more capabilities even than Retroid Pocket Classic. You can play Dreamcast, you can play N64, any games that has one stick or two stick, you can sometimes handle the thing to play games in here. In my Miyoo Mini Plus, there is no option for running Dreamcast, especially for such performance Cortex i7. In here you have Hash 700, which is very popular and has more capabilities. I forgot that the Extreme Racer uses the new way of accelerating the car. So you guys can see there sometimes somewhere you can play with the which core to use in RetroArch. So this device can have some type of sound crackling issue, but overall it runs really well, especially with the stick. You will see no problem of playing the Dreamcast games in here. And I think the maximum you can run in here will be the most powerful device is the Dreamcast. And the Dreamcast games looks really incredible, really nice, and something like that, yeah. And also you can run N64 games It's a GNOME, it has a lot of capabilities. Even the games that cannot be launched properly, it will run without any problems. Or even try to run, you know. So yeah, I would move from our beloved. We can lower the brightness in here to make sure the screen captures everything. So performance in here, do I even have to say something? Oh my god, this device is insanely powerful for being a retro device. So we play the Dreamcast, which is the most powerful for the Anbernic, but I don't think I have any Dreamcast games in here. In here we can go even crazier and test PlayStation 2 game. Yeah, let's test Spider-Man 2. So yeah, I have problem with bias. Great. So we're starting with PlayStation 2 and Spider-Man in PS2. Spider-Man 1. Great, we have even screen layout. Amazing. I think I would also talk about that you guys can actually save this one to play a game. I'm not sure how much it will be logical, but yeah, I think it could be a thing to handle too. If you want to play with the games that PlayStation 2, you can use the screen button and you can hide some of them or save, leave some of them. So yeah. Okay. So we're just going in a default way, the fastest way. Gosh, this screen is really beautiful. Very saturated, very nicely contrast, and everything is really nice. Welcome to the tutorial about this screen. Tutorial, we're not interested about tutorial. Guys, it runs follow basic instruction. Great. It runs full speed and without any issues. I can even, if I will find out, I can even show there. So you guys can see 60 FPS without any problems. The games run just perfectly fine. And this is the native resolution. Let's go upper. Oh, it's not even native, it's 1.5. It's not fully native resolution. We can go even more higher, 2x. I think this game is too simple, but it's definitely running. PlayStation 2. In 2x you will see, I think, the slowdowns. Yeah, as you guys can see, the D-pads don't do anything like that in the screen. And I didn't map in the maps buttons, but you can map definitely and try something. Yeah, so you guys can see that PlayStation 2 runs just perfectly smooth. And I think we covered about performance, most of the things. The most performative device, great. Most performance active device, most performance full device is this. The middle one and the last one is Miyoo Mini Plus. With this one, you can play up to PlayStation 2. That's crazy, I know. With this up to Dreamcast and with this up to the PlayStation 1. So these devices in terms of performance covers like that. I think time come to finalize everything. That what I like about each of these devices, what I don't like about each of the devices. So overall, what you are looking for, that's the main point. I will tell you something like that. If you're looking for all time and playing a retro handheld games and you need device and you have budget limit, you're going with the Anbernic one. But if you're looking for something that is cool and very easy to handle and still want to play games, these two will the choice will play within the system that you want to use and the comfort. With the comfort, you go for the Anbernic. This is insanely comfortable device. Like this is even more comfortable than the Retroid Pocket Classic. Like how it fits in your hand, how easier to press any button, stick movement. Like it's just a comfortable device. If you want portable device, you're going with the Miyoo Mini Plus, and if you want a device that has the most easiest, most straightforward the system, it is Miyoo Mini Plus. Guys, Nuli is nice, Nuli is emulation station and etc. is very nice. People who support the project is incredible people, very helpful, and yeah, they need to support. They need support from us, from retro game community and etc. We need to support them actually, not they need support. We need to support them so they can be able to handle the updates and etc. patches for these systems, because these systems are nearly open source and mostly community driven. So yeah, we need to support them, guys. And I'm actually signed from some of them in Patreon. But yeah, what I wanted to say in terms of system, Onion OS will have to be beat every system. Onion OS is more straightforward. Nuli has some small problems, but some problems, for example, that the file system doesn't support in Windows. If your laptop is Windows, it will be not easy to send the games in the system. But with the Miyoo Mini, it's easier. You just plug it. I think it's ext4 format, so it's very supported. In the Windows, you can easily send the files, anything like that. This device is either BRTFS or ext. I think FAT32. I think it's the some file type that doesn't support, not supported in the Windows. So it's very hard to maintain this device system. In terms of scraper performance, also the Miyoo Mini is better. It's more faster. There is a tools for that. And in terms of OS and straightforwardness, and you just want the device that you will just take it from the pocket, bam, and you play some games, Miyoo Mini to go. If you prefer the comfortability when you're playing retro games, you definitely go with the Anbernic. This device is my favorite device. My right now combination is that I'm using Steam Deck OLED and I'm using this device for retro games. And these two stays in the side, and the Miyoo Mini I will not sell, but this one I'm selling in a second-hand market. Retroid Pocket Classic is the best for me. It has disadvantages. The comfort is disadvantage of it. It's a comforty, but it's definitely not comforty after using this comfortable as after using the Anbernic device, Anbernic 40XX. But overall, this device is such a nice device. It has an Android system. It's easy to navigate. You can go to Google Chrome and install everything. You can have file manager in here. Here, maybe you don't even need the Windows, but still, the Linux is Android is such a system that you can easily use any formats and etc. And you can nearly do anything you want in here because it's an Android. And so there is even Steam Link in here. You can Chrome any open source app, install it, install different type of emulators, even Switch emulator. The capabilities of Android device is insane, especially considering the price, 130 and 50-60 USD. Even 150, even this device for 170 is such a steal device. I think it's right now the cheapest device that Retroid has. But in terms of capabilities, in terms of screen, OLED, resolution, touchpad, nice mono speaker, very good quality, good bass, material is nice, and comfort is okay. With these things that Retroid offers is insane. It's insane, especially for the screen. When it comes to the comfort, as I mentioned, yeah, there is this clean winner Anbernic. When you want something very pocketable, something very straightforward, easy to play games, Miyoo Mini Plus definitely is your choice. And when it comes to the multi abilities of doing like multiple things, or having a more nicer performance device, or having an impeccable beautiful OLED screen, you definitely need to go with Retroid Pocket Classic. Okay guys, I'm so sorry for this video, because it's very unstructured. I just talked that what I was thinking about these devices and covered about it. I don't have any script. I had just an idea to cover this and that. I could easily miss something, and if I miss something, please leave it in the comment. If I done some mistakes, it's my first video, so you guys can still leave the comment, and I would love to do it. And also, please, I will mention in here, I'm quite recently very like fond of games in terms of retro games. I was always the fan of the games since 2007, but recently I got into a retro game, so I will leave the link of my retro achievements so you guys can follow and etc. So I will leave the game just in case, leave the like Instagram where I post nice pictures of my retro handheld devices or day-to-day stuff about what I'm doing, what I'm trying, which OS I'm trying. Well, like I could share, I share most of the time very nice tips or tricks or something like that about these handheld devices. Even the pictures itself, for example, I have really nice picture. The last one which I shared, probably I will leave the picture in here and link of my Instagram so you guys can follow. I would love to start this path of handheld reviews or something like that. I definitely have a work to do in terms of like structuring, writing a script beforehand, making a video, but I just wanted something spontaneous. So I think you can guys start looking at my videos, go forward, leaving a comment, like trash video or good video, doesn't matter. But the feedback, every feedback I will consider and would straightforward look forward for it, you know, to change something or improve in terms of the handhelds. And probably if there will be more interesting devices and etc. I will want to test and I will probably buy. And yeah, I don't know, this I could write a script and something like that, but I didn't done it clearly by the reason that a lot of videos that I watch are more script based or something like that, and too much being involved in terms of readiness. I wanted to make a video that is more spontaneous, and we just talk around on with the in front of us with these devices and just take it, play, talk about some things, take it other one to play and compare it, and while comparing, see the flaws, see the disadvantages, and tell about them, something like that. But I'm definitely using all of these devices and flaws. I think I mentioned all of them that I see in day-to-day life. Battery life in here, like comfort, and in terms of the stick performance in here, and that I have a Miyoo Mini Plus. Why I need this device was my question. So I got even better one, OLED and etc. Android, and now I don't even need these two of them. But maybe I will save Miyoo Mini Plus by the feeling of that the portability and how it nice feels in hand. It's small, it's pocketable, something like that. So yeah guys, if you want Android, if you want powerful, if you want OLED screen, nice speaker, nice material, Retroid Pocket Classic. If you want something pocketable, something easier with nicer OS, Miyoo Mini Plus. If you want more comfort, one stick, and nicer features in terms of like Nully OS, very customizability, emulation station, and etc., then your choice lies in Anbernic. That's it guys. I mentioned I guess most of the things. I would love to see the support and etc. Every feedback in the comment, and see you later guys. Bye bye.